It's Leo, and I'm here to talk about KIRAKIRA PRECURE episode 18. A very, very, very good episode, packed with stuff, lots of new interesting things going on, a new villain. We're finally seeing more of the villains, and we're probably going to learn more on the next episodes. And we're getting into a new arc, a new part of this story. So we had this little Julio arc and it seems that it's finished, but now we're getting into the Cure Parfait arc together with Noir. Noir is, it seems to be, the big villain of this season. So yes, this episode was packed with stuff. It happened, so many things happened in this episode, so I think that I might miss some of the things that I want to say in this video. I always forget something, but let's jump right into it. First of all, I think that the big theme of this episode was gossip. So the way that the theme was shown was very, very interesting to me. First of all, we have this new villain, Biburi, and she was trying to spread gossip about Kirapati. And the way that she did it was very interesting. And it was nice because her powers are like, when visually speaking, her power shows mouths going around, and it's a very nice way to talk about gossip, to visually represent gossip, right? And it was a very nice thing. So there's more that I want to talk about Biburi, but let's leave it for later. Continuing on to the gossip thing, it was very interesting to see how it was developed in the episode itself. The first moment that it appeared for our main characters, for the Cures, was when Akira was at school and the Akira fan club talked about it, and they used that little thing, and here in Brazil we call it like wireless phone. It doesn't make sense in English, I think, but that's how it's called here in Brazil, and they use that, and it's a very interesting way, because that is like when you talk about something to someone who's far, and then that person can listen to it and can hear it, but they might understand it wrong. That's another very nice analogy for gossip. And it was shown in such a nice way. They throwing it, like they were on the top of the stairs and she was down there, and they threw it, and they were able to talk to her about it. And then she told the Cures and she used it again. So I think that that's another nice thing about KIRAKIRA. The great attention to detail. For example, the scenes in which no one was coming to Kirapati, and they were repeating, the scenes were repeating it themselves, and every time the scenes repeated themselves, Yukari was shown petting Pecorin, and then in a very, very nice way, Yukari's face was different each time. And another nice thing that I love is that this attention to detail that the producers have for the series, it's amazing. And it happened again in this episode. I love how much they know that, how much the public love the relationship between Akira and Yukari, and it was shown again when they were talking about what might happen if you ate Kirapati's sweets. One of the things was you might lose the person you love, and then they showed like Yukari running away from Akira like she was a princess and Akira was a prince. And I mean, that is very, very nice, and I love how the producers understand and know that children probably won't understand it, but they know that there are so many people that watch the show that love the two of them, and that they see them as a real couple, and they play with that a lot. And yes, I know, they won't go there. It would be very nice if they did, but I don't think they will. It's a children's show. They always play it safe with relationships, not only lesbian relationships, but also straight relationships. We don't see them being shown for the Cures very much. And that's a thing that I like about Precure, right? Girls' shows usually focus a lot on loving relationships, and I get a little tired of that. That's a great point of Precure in general. Loved all those visual representations of gossip in this episode. But, and I also think that Biburi was an amazing villain that was introduced. What I liked most about her was when I saw her, I thought she was going to be a very childish and playful girl, but that's not really the case. She is a very scary, angry girl, and she isn't childish at all, except for the visuals. I think that the visuals are a little bit on the childish side of things, but if we're talking about her actions and her voice is very deep. I thought she was going to have a very childish voice, but no, she is a very angry and, you know, controlling girl. And I also loved the scene that we had of her with Julio. That scene was amazing because it showed, to at least I saw that she's very ruthless and she doesn't really think about Julio's feelings, and that's a very nice thing for a villain, at least at this moment. I mean, this first moment that we know her, it makes, at least it makes me feel a little scared of her, I think, you know, like, no, I don't know if she's that powerful, but it makes me a little scared of the things that she's able to do if she doesn't have, I don't know the word, but if she doesn't think about others like this. That's a very interesting trait for a villain, and that's a very interesting thing to see in Precure, because we don't see that in Precure in general. So yeah, and I love how the doll that she has, the doll has a name, but I forgot it already, and I love this ventriloquism theme. You know, I think it usually works very well, and it seems that the doll is like part of her power because she can transform the doll in monsters. And that's another thing that I liked, because now we have Monsters of the Week again. That's a good thing for the fights in this season. And it also seems to me that she has the power, like a hypnosis power, a power to control emotions or maybe thoughts of people, because she was able to control how people perceived Kirapati through the gossip, yes, but she had this power of controlling the mind, or the hypnosis. I don't know exactly what her power is and how to describe that, but she was able to control the way people saw Kirapati, and that made people not want to go there. And that's also another interesting thing, because in Precure in general, we see the main character trying to fight and overcome the bad things, and then the other characters of the team follow her, and then they fight together to try to overcome something hard. But that was not the case in this episode. In this episode, it was actually the contrary. The girls were all feeling very defeated because no one was visiting Kirapati, and Ichika tried something, but it didn't work. She tried to cook, but it didn't work. She was feeling defeated. All of them were feeling defeated. But then they all had different ideas. They all had different feelings, and they all tried something. So the four girls tried, each in their own way. They all tried to do something for Kirapati, and I loved that because it shows a little bit more of their personalities, and I love how thoughtful they are of all of the characters in this season. So we had Akira trying to give out flyers to people so that people can visit Kirapati again. We had Yukari with her fan club, and her fan club doing the parts of detectives, and I love that because the fan clubs are not forgotten. Like, it's like the groups of people that make the fan club are like a character in this show, and I love that. We've seen the fan clubs, you know, being important plot points in some of the episodes, but it's nice to see them again showing up, not only in character-centric episodes like in a Yukari episode that it's normal for them to appear, but in general episodes. You know, it's nice to see them in action again, and I actually love their designs. I love the way they look, so I think that they're amazing, and I love seeing them in action, and I loved seeing how Yukari used them so that she could discover where those rumors were coming from. And then we had a child knowing about those rumors, but he wanted to eat Kirapati sweets anyway, and that's another interesting thing. That's interesting because we, as adults, we tend to focus a lot on gossip and things that we hear, and we're not really sure. the child was the one that broke free from that and that he wanted to eat the sweets anyway. And that was an interesting message for all of us. Let's not just get hung up on those things, things that people talk about. That's a very interesting thing. That the child was able to break up, and then with that, KIRAKIRA was born, and we had Biburi in action. But before that, Yukari discovered her. Yukari knew that she was the one that was stirring up the pot and then making things bad for Kirapati. Again, I love that. I really, really love that. I love seeing Yukari in action. She's such a great character. Come on, guys. The best character ever. Really. I don't know, but, you guys know how much I love Yukari, right? So it was so nice seeing her in action in this episode and discovering who the girl was and then picking Biburi's hand. And I don't know why they didn't notice that Biburi was bad news right at the start, because her color palette is very close to Julio's, but obviously we're not gonna have people analyzing that in the anime like that fast. So she's obviously not a human, You can notice right at the start that she is not part of the society, the Kirapati society, the city that they live in. I forgot the name of the city. I don't even know if the city has a name, but you guys know what I mean, right? It was very nice to notice that, but they didn't. So yeah, we had the monster of the week again. The fighting was very simple. It was very short, but it was nice seeing the girls in action again, using their powers in different ways. Makaran using her yo-yo to try to attack Biburi. She just went for Biburi. She just forgot about the monster and went for Biburi. Straight up for Biburi. I love you so much, Yukari. You have no idea. So yeah, amazing. I loved that. And yes, the fight was very simple and that they used their finisher right at that moment. And yeah, I guess that's it. And it was very nice seeing Kirapati back again. I loved seeing girls in action. I mean, not in action as curious, but in action trying to revive Kirapati, each one in their own way. And yeah, I thought this episode was so good. I don't know if I talked about everything that I wanted, but yeah, it was a great episode. And the ending scene with CL coming to Japan and appearing for the first time with the sunglasses and taking out the sunglasses. Wow, that was so powerful. And I was like, yes, girl, you are going to be the next best character of this season. I am sure of that. She really looks amazing. We had a little introduction of her in this episode from the TV. We know that she's very famous and she's a prodigious, I don't even know if I made up a word right now, sorry, a prodigious patisserie, and oh my god, this is going to be brilliant. I am sure of it. And next episode, we're gonna have her in her full glory. She's going to teach the girls how to make sweets, I don't know, and so many things are gonna happen. And I'm loving this season. Guys, if you haven't listened to the KIRAKIRA Precure original soundtrack, it's available on the internet. You can buy it, of course, but if you don't have the money, it's available on the internet. There is the Precure Music sound channel. I don't remember the name of the channel here on YouTube, but they always upload them. But I'm talking about it because there is one song that's very special. Do you remember the band Ganache that Cure Gelato loves? Yes, their song is on this album, and the song, I forgot the name of the song, Soul Searcher, something like that, Soul something. Wow, this is such a great song. You guys have to go listen to it right now because it's really good. And I mean, KIRAKIRA music is gorgeous. And we're also going to have a Pure Parfait theme song, obviously. It's already announced and we're probably going to see in her debut episode. And as far as I know, I think it's going to happen in episode 23. That's going to be on July. So yeah. Let's wait for Pure Parfait. She's almost here. The series is amazing and the episodes are great as always. And I think this episode was really good. And I hope you guys have liked it too. Please leave a comment with your opinions on episode 18. Let's talk about it. Let's hype Pure Parfait because she's almost here. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Until next time, bye bye.